Hey everyone, it's 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗓𝗖𝗓 here. I am so excited that you are here for this webinar. This is for health and life coaches that want to monetize their personal story and make an impact in the world just like I have done. And I just want to clarify here that this webinar is for you if you want to share a personal story just like I did. But you don't know where to start, just like myself as well, like 40 years ago when I started sharing my story online. You could also be in a place that you've tried monetizing your story, but you haven't closed any clients, you haven't helped anybody yet. You're trying to help, people, truly to take them through a journey, but you haven't been able to get a paying client. This is also for you if you feel overwhelmed, but of the amount of information that is out there, all the shiny objects, the little carrots being dangled in front of you, just do this and you'll make money. But you're now ready, to follow one plan, you're like, I'm over this, being pulled to different directions, and I'm just ready to focus on one plan. And this is also for you if you have a deep why and a purpose to help others. I am just going to be straight up to you, with you right now, which is something that it's so real in my journey. Like, I never started my business just to make money. I had a much deeper desire, a deeper calling, a deeper purpose to share my story and to help others. And if your fully focus is only to make money, I'm sorry to say to you, you're probably gonna fail, because entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. And unless you anchor to this like really deep why, which I'm gonna talk to you about my deep why I started my business in a minute, you can't really go through this roller coaster, which is the entrepreneurship. Okay, so I'm not gonna here to tell you that it's the easiest thing that I've ever done in my life, because I would say starting my business and growing my business was much harder than conquering cancer. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I clarify that, because I want to work with people. I want to really help people that are really anchored in a much deeper why than just making money. So this webinar is not meant for you if you don't have a personal story and all you want to do is to make money. Okay, if you don't have like this personal transformational story, just like myself, if you don't have like this a transformation to take people on, this webinar is not from you. If you don't have the results that you want to help people with. Now, I had so many results that I could show, to people in pictures, in my own posts, writing about, because I had learned so much. I had changed as a person. I was able to finish 12 sessions of chemo feeling stronger than I started. And from that point, my health only got better. There was so much I could talk about that. Okay. And I knew that if people did what I did, they would feel the same. So if you don't have the results that you want to help people with, it's going to be very hard for you to really help people to go from point A to point B. And also, this webinar is not meant for you if you choose to work on your own because you know best. Like, I have been on this kind of like hamster wheel thinking like, I just need to figure it out on my own. I know I can do this, and I wasted a lot of time, just doing that. And if you are in that place, totally respect you, but this webinar is probably not for you. And if you're looking for the quickest way to get rich, I would love to tell you that, I have a magic pill that you're going to become a millionaire overnight, but this is not about that, and I just like being super honest about how I build my business and what the mistakes that I made and the things that I did to make money. So let's get started. Welcome, my friend. My name is 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗓𝗖𝗓. I'm founder of the 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡 method. After conquering a stage 3 back cancer, I left my corporate job to start my coaching business without even being on social media. I just want to pause here for a second because, social media, I was not even on social media. And when I started my business, COVID had just hit. I did not know that COVID was going to happen, but I left in about March 2020, and then my whole estate was closed for 2 years after that. Everybody went online, and the whole world changed massively. But for me, it was very much this journey of, after cancer treatment, going back to my old corporate role and feeling like I didn't belong there anymore, feeling like, I have a deeper calling, feeling like everything that I had learned, that I had done, I needed to share with people. And that's what motivated me to start my business. And I went all in and I quit my job without having a plan. And I thought, this is what I need to do. I realized that after cancer, time, the clock is ticking, and time is the only really real thing that we have, and all we have is the now. All the time that we're thinking, I'm going to do that tomorrow, we don't know if we're going to have tomorrow. And for me, it was very important to live a life that was true to that, true to myself, true to a life that I really wanted to live. And this is why I made the decision to quit my corporate role and go all in starting my business. 4 years on, I have helped people all over the world. You can have a look at my website. It's full of testimonies there to take charge of their health and life through sharing my story. And what I noticed is that, as I started sharing my story online and as I started helping people started coming to me with all sorts of different issues, mostly people who have tried the conventional methods, but they couldn't really achieve the results that they wanted, around anxiety, depression, relationships, gastro issues, just exhaustion, alone, cancer, after cancer as well. And, they would tell me, and I would ask them, what motivates you? What's your why? And they would tell me, Angelica, I want to heal this part of myself so I can have a business like yourself. And it was really interesting to me because that wasn't my motivation. My motivation to change was to survive for my kids. I never intended to start a business. I fully focused on my healing during cancer treatment. And this is why I was so successful during, in my health journey. I fully focused on myself. I didn't have any distractions. I just shut everything off and I focused on myself, on my healing. I became like this little caterpillar, inside my house. I didn't even go out because I was like self-quarantining. And just going in, being very selective of who I spend time with, what I did with my time. And I built the strongest and the fittest and the healthiest body I have ever had because I was super disciplined and I was super determined and super focused on my health and healing only. So when I came out of it was when I decided to, after going back to corporate, the corporate role, that I realized that I needed to do something more, and I thought it was really interesting that my clients didn't have the same motivations as I did. They wanted to have a business, and that's when I really shifted and I felt that my calling was much bigger than helping people with their health only. And this is what led me to now helping people just like you to do the same thing as I did, to really share their personal story so they can monetize their personal story so they can help heal even more people, okay? So I made many mistakes at the beginning of my journey, and those were the 5 mistakes that I've made, and I just want to talk you through it. At the beginning, I went through this period where I thought, I don't have a degree. I don't come from a science background. I used to work in recruitment, and, there was nothing to do with health. And I kept asking myself, who am I? I need to be a doctor. I need to be a nutritionist. I need to be a dietitian. I need to be a psychologist. And I even thought about becoming a doctor, and I end up finding a university which is called Quantum University, where they have the same beliefs and the philosophies that I do. Like I spent a lot of time reading and applying things that I had learned from books, during chemotherapy, and I needed to find something that was in line with what I had done, and it wasn't anything to do with even in the natural world, there is a lot of talks around supplements. I didn't take any supplements. I didn't do anything like that. I just took full charge of what I did, how I felt, and how I thought. I took charge of my habits. And a lot of the work that Quantum University does is around tapping into this inner power that we all have, in our bodies and mind. And for me, I signed up for a $20,000. It was a degree path. You started with a quantum health coach certification and went on to doing a Bachelor of Holistic Health Science, and then you went on to doing a master's and a PhD in natural medicine. I have already completed the quantum health qualification, the coach qualification, the Bachelor of Holistic Health Science. I have completed the master's, and I am going to complete the PhD in natural medicine by the beginning of next year. Now, would you, if you ask me, Angelica, would you have signed up for that like you did so early on, in your business? And the answer is, I am not sure, because the truth is, this has taken a lot of my time, a lot of my, focus that I had to, doing all the subjects and the exams and everything. Like, it has taken a lot of effort, and I am going to finish because I'm a finisher, I'm a doer. But, I'm not sure if what I have learned has really added the amount of value that I thought it was going to do. Because as I started studying and as I started sharing my story, and I started investing on myself, and I started understanding what I needed to do to get paying clients, I started helping people. And guess what? What I help people with was what I had done myself, what I had learned myself sitting at the chemo chair. It wasn't anything to do with what I was learning that degree. Okay, so I'm not saying that degrees are bad. All I'm saying is don't jump onto a degree unless you are really absolutely sure that you are going to get financially rewarded straight away from that. Okay, so I really want you to think about that, because that was a mistake that I made. I also focus on building a website and nobody visit. Like, when you don't have an online presence, especially these days, and it's only been 4 years, social media platforms have changed massively. There was so much more out there. Like, we have now, the whole thing has evolved in a way that is completely different than when I started. I would say that even back then people would look at websites, but now nobody look at websites, so building a website is a waste of time. I also focus on helping everyone. I thought I could help the people that were, just like myself before cancer, the people that were exhausted, people that were abusing their bodies, people that were unhappy, people that were unfulfilled. Now, when you start wanting to help everyone, you help no one. You need to start speaking to the person who you can help. And the truth is, the person that I could help was the person who had already been diagnosed with something. Because they were ready to change. They were ready to do the work. They were ready to actually have somebody coaching them to do the work and pay for it. Okay? So if you start speaking to everyone, you're helping no one. Another thing that I did is I waste time trying to figure things out on my own. Now, I am a doer. I am an action taker. I'm very disciplined. I'm very determined. I'm very focused. So I have zero problems around that. But trying to figure it out, everything on your own when it comes to business, is a completely insanity. Building a business, it's one of the hardest things a human being is going to do, and it's not for the faint-hearted. 80 to 90% of business fail in the first year for a reason, right? And it's like saying to people, like, can you become a doctor by watching YouTube videos? No, you can't. Right? Because there is a lot more than just watching YouTube videos and trying to figure it out on your own. Business is the same, but just people don't want to think like that, right? They want to think that they can figure it out on their own, like I did. And I wasted a ton of time. Like I said, I spent 6 months trying to figure it out on my own. I made 0 sales. I made $0. And then I had a little chat of myself. And I thought to myself, okay, Angelica, you've been running around circles. You can't do this. So you have 2 choices here. You either go back to corporate, or you invest on yourself and you just go all in and you just don't look back, because you know that if you invest on yourself, you are going to make it happen. And so I did. I also built courses that nobody bought. It's the same thing as a website. If nobody knows who you are, nobody's going to buy a course. It doesn't matter. Even if you're selling a course that is $1, nobody's going to buy from you. And because I had only been on social media, since 2020, trying to sell a course to anybody who didn't even know who I was, it was just another silly thing that I did. Okay, so now what are the lessons that I've learned? I've learned to own my story and what I had to offer. Like I said at the beginning, I kept asking myself, but I'm not a doctor, really, I'm not sure, can I really share, my story around health? Can I really speak with authority about health? Now, I struggle to find happy and positive stories around cancer, right? And I looked for them and I surrounded myself with them only. But a lot of those stories, they were not like mine. They were different stories. Some of the people, they decided not to do the chemo and they only did natural, therapies, and they, they did other things than I had done. And, I don't know any story that anybody that can say, I was able to finish 12 sessions of chemo feeling stronger than I started. Okay, when I finished my chemotherapy treatment, which was 12 sessions every 2 weeks, and I had many delays, the nurse told me, Angelica, in 8 years of oncology, I have seen 4 people finishing this treatment. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I thought everybody finished. And the truth is, people can't even finish the treatment because it wrecks your body so much that, the oncologists have to go like we can't do this anymore. But I was not only able to finish, but I was able to finish stronger than I started. 3 months later, I had a partial hysterectomy. And guess what? In 6 weeks after that, I was running. I was fitter than ever. I jumped out of bed after the partial hysterectomy and I was like, I'm not even in pain. Okay? Once I start owning and step into this power, that my story, had so many positive and golden nuggets, and there's so many lessons learned that people could take from. Once I start doing that, I started really stepping into my true power and showing my story in an absolutely authentic way, so people could really feel and know who I was and what I had gone through. Okay, it takes a massive mindset shift, and this is what I work with my clients with, because we are conditioned to believe that only conventional institutions can provide us with results. Talk about conventional medicine, universities, a job. Like, we are conditioned to believe this is the only way. Okay, but I think the world is changing so much now, more than ever. People are trying to learn from real people who have been in their own shoes. Okay, people who know exactly what it's like, for example, to have gone through chemotherapy. Quite frankly, nobody knows until you go through it. Okay, so people can't talk about it because they haven't gone through it, but I can talk about it. Okay, so once I started owning my story, things started shifting, like people started reaching out to me, Angelica, if you can conquer cancer, I think I can conquer my anxiety. I can conquer, like this relationship issue that I have that is taking a toll on my health, and it creates this like snowball effect, because you are emanating this energy that you can do it, and other people see the light in that. They see the energy in that. They see like, well, if she did that, I can do that too. Once I start focusing on one client avatar, instead of trying to have this intention and this vision, I want to help everyone. Like, the truth is, I could only help people that wanted to be healthy, and people that are not sick, even if they are exhausted and they get sick, like with coughs and colds all the time and other little issues, they don't want to change. Right? Because by nature, we are lazy. Like, we want to do the easiest thing possible, right? We want to sit in the sofa eating cakes and not exercising, drinking alcohol. This is our nature, because we're trying to conserve energy. Our primitive brains are, no, don't try anything different. This is what human beings are, right? So why would you change if you're not sick, right? So really, I needed to focus on people who really wanted to change. I also focus on one social media channel. I focus on Facebook only. Even at the time I started like an Instagram account, and I actually deleted the account. The account that you see today is not my first Instagram account. Okay, because I thought, this is just too overwhelming. And I think a lot of people fall into this category. They think that they can do all things at all times, and they burn out. I have seen that in many entrepreneurs. And I was super honest with myself. Like I said, I asked myself that question, Angelica, what do you want to do? Do you want to go? You've got an option here. You can go back to corporate, which will be much easier. Go back to your old job. Anybody would give you a job. I was very good at what I did. Just go back to that. Or you can invest on yourself, and you can go all in, and you can do, the thing that you came here in this world to do. But people ask me, Angelica, how to own your story. How did you do that? And I want to ask you, do you inspire people to do anything different? What questions do people ask you? Like for me, like people ask me all the time, oh my God, how did you finish 12 sessions of chemo feeling stronger than you started? How are you 44 and you're in the best shape of your life? What do you eat? What do you exercise? Like they ask me this all the time. If money wasn't an issue, what would you love to help people with? Think about, I would love to help people to get healthier than ever. I would love people to get out of this exhaustion place that they think that they need to live. I would love to help people to be more conscious and less unconscious, so they can create a happier life, a more fulfilling life. I would love to people to get over their limiting beliefs, right? So they don't feel that, they can't do things because somebody told them they can't, because they've been conditioned in ways that are not really opening them to different possibilities, okay? So start asking yourself those questions. What does your inner voice keep telling you to do? And what does your inner voice keep telling you to stop doing? You know, the inner voice is not that voice that tells you you're not enough. You know, the inner voice is this knowing, this intuition that we all have. You know, it's interesting enough because, you know, for one message that the brain sends to the gut, 9 messages are sent from the gut to the brain. The intuition is a proven thing, it's scientifically proven. It lives in our gut. So this gut feeling is not called gut feeling because, you know, somebody kind of came up with that. It's because it's a real thing. You have an intuition if you are there to tap into it and listen to it. You know, my intuition told me you've got cancer once, and I've just ignored it. And I vouch for myself, you know, after cancer, I will always live a life that is true to myself. I am not going to live a life that is not true to myself anymore, because I know that if I do that, I'm going to get sick again. Okay, and my intuition told me, leave your corporate job and you need to follow your mission. In the same way as my intuition told me, you know, now it's time for you not to help people with health only, but it's time for you to help people to share their stories. Okay, connect your intuition. What's stopping you to share your story? You know, we all have blind stops, you know, but once we start daring to ask ourselves some hard questions, we get the answers that we're looking for, okay? So a lot of people talk about the niche. So my niche became my story. My niche became who I am, you know, and I want to ask you, you know, what transformation can you help people with that they would pay for? You know, I want you to really, you know, when you think about that, but Angelica, you know, a lot of people have this limiting belief around, you know, charging other people, you know, but, you know, who am I to be charging other people? Now, I want to, you know, if you were me, you know, in my situation, don't you want to help people? Like for me, in my case, you know, to finish chemotherapy feeling stronger than I started? Oh, hell yes to that. Because I know deep down, if people did what I did, everyone in the world would finish chemo feeling stronger than I started. They started. I know that for a fact. Okay? I know that. And I'm not talking about their comparison to me, but in comparison to themselves. I finished chemo feeling stronger than when I started chemo. Okay? In 2 weeks, I got over that chemo. Like I never had, you know, the exhaustion, side effects. I don't take any medication. I never had any of that. Okay? And I know for a fact if people follow that, you know, which is not something that the doctors are telling them to do, the nutritionists, the dietitians, the psychologists, no, because they haven't gone through it. What I did was a different thing. Okay? What have you experienced that people want? You know, people wanted that. You know, people that hadn't gone through cancer wanted that. Oh my God, you know, you're 44, you look incredible. I want that for myself. Okay? Is it in relation to health, wealth, or relationships? Why is this important? Because people will pay anything to be healthy again. They'll pay anything to be wealthy, and they'll pay anything to be in a loving relationship. This is what we value as human beings. Okay? And can you name a signature system or an offer to stand out? Like mine is the angel method. You know, it doesn't have to be complicated, so you can stand out. You know, and in the crowded place that is social media, because we cannot argue with the fact that now more than ever, you know, social media is a busy place. You know, it's very, very busy, and attention is king, is what we need to grab, you know, and to take people on this journey, okay, of understanding what we can offer and help them with. So your story needs to help people in a simple way. You know, don't want to overcomplicate things. You know, I help health and life coaches to monetize their personal story, you know, using the angel method. I could say, you know, without complicated funnels. I could say without ads, because I've never paid for an ad. You know, you could say whatever it is, but it needs to be simple. People need to read it and understand it straight away. So this is why you don't need a website anymore. You know, like on an Instagram bio, you have a picture of your face, they know who you are. You know, if you haven't got a picture of your face, you need to have a picture of your face. People want to build that know, like, and trust. They want to know that they're dealing with a real person. Okay, especially because, you know, there's so many bots and things going on the internet. People want to see you. Okay, keep your statement short and punchy. You know, like I did here. And, you know, this is your website. You know, you can, here on the highlights below, you know, you can put, you know, like testimonials, book, habits, free stuff, whatever you want. So you do not need a website. And then you can add a call to action, which is a CTA, a link to a calendar or to a value funnel, which we'll talk about that, but you don't need that. Just keep things simple at the beginning. So they look at that, they see that, and they just get straight into that. Now let's talk about content. Now you're thinking to yourself, yeah, Angelica, that's so good, but how do I write content? Some of my clients, they were not very good at writing. English wasn't their first language. I was very fortunate that I could write in English. Back then there was no ChatGPT or anything like that, and I help my clients to use AI these days to help them. But it's important to understand that content now, it is king. People, even the social media platforms are competing with each other. They want to keep the person in the platform as long as they can. And for that, they're only presenting them the content that they want to see. So that's why there is a strategy behind. But you can be authentic by implementing this strategy. And this is what I help my clients to do, because this is what I have done. Okay, so you're basically going to be telling your story. So you're not going to be lying about, like you're being authentic. This is what happened to me, and this is what I did to overcome it. And now I'm sharing my story to teach you. Right? This is exactly my story. It's personal. It connects with people, and it's real and raw. Okay, you're helping people to get from A to B. I'm telling you my story here. You will hear the same story in different ways, but this is my story. Okay, nobody can copy this. Nobody can take this away from me. Okay, so now what types of content you can write? You can write inspirational stories. And this is. Why is that? Because the world needs this so much. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I had to dig deep to find positive stories about cancer. And this is why I wrote my book. I actually took 2 books from the library, and they were incredibly negative about the whole thing. The people on those books, they didn't change one single bit. They didn't empower themselves. And I thought, you know what? I am not going to be that person. I'm going to change now. I'm not going to wait until the end of the treatment. I'm not going to wait until I die. I'm changing my whole life now. And this is why I wrote my book, because I wanted people to pick up my book after they've been diagnosed with some sort of daring sickness like I was, and go, you know what? I can do this. This is how I created this disharmony, this disease, okay? Because cancer is a lifestyle disease, okay? Nobody wants to say that out loud, but that's what it is, right? And I can create healing. And I wanted people to tap into that, because I'm deeply passionate about that, okay? And I'm a living proof of that every single day, okay? So, but people want to go okay, well, she's done that. I can do that. I can do that for my anxiety. I can do that for my depression. I can do that for my, infertility. I can do that for all sorts of different things. They want to feel good, because people feel so bad about their own lives. They're unhappy, they're unhealthy, they're exhausted, they're stressed. They want to feel good. They're craving for that. Some of the content is sales. Yes, that is selling your services. If you don't sell, people don't know that you are even selling anything. That doesn't mean that you have to be selling and screaming in their faces all the time. But if you don't sell anything, it will be like having a shop that is always closed. Do you think people are going to be asking next door, when are they open? No, they're not going to ask that. They're just going to go to the next shop. Okay, because people are busy. And also educational, mindset shift. And I'm going to give some examples here so you can kind of really grasp this. Some epiphanies. A big mistake that people do at the beginning is they think oh, this is too basic. I'm not going to tell people that. Guess what? I created the fittest body I ever had just by doing the basics, right? And guess what? Most people don't know how to do the basics. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in a world like we are today. Okay, so we forget how much we have evolved to be where we are. So you're just educating them, and they go, oh my God, I haven't thought about that before. It's so easy to do. Okay, entertaining. People want to laugh. People are so miserable in their own lives. They want to just scroll so that they can stop in an image and laugh. So what to write about? Questions that you need to ask yourself. What were the 3 or 5 aha moments on my story, that I can share in different ways? Don't try to teach too many things in one post. People are scrolling, and then also when they stop on something, they skim reading. It takes 27 times before people buy from you. Okay, so they skim reading first, skim you read the second time. It's a process, okay? Would you follow yourself or comment on your post? You need to ask yourself some really hard questions, honest questions there, you know? And repurpose what works with different picture, different hooks, you know, and different CTAs. You know, if you have been in this game for a while, you know that, you know, everybody gets a little bit of content tired. You know, it's tiring to be writing different content all the time. But there are things that you can do to really repurpose content. You know, that it's so effective and so easy to do, which is something that I cover on my coaching program as well. So the customer journey is like, you know, they go from not aware to problem aware, solution aware to product aware to deal aware. You know, I'm going to give you my example here. So people, they have a story and they want to share with the world, you know, like, so, but they aware, you know, like that they want to share, but they are thinking to themselves, I can figure this out on my own. That's not aware. I'm not going to talk to these people because they're not aware that they need my help, right? They're just in their own journey. But they become problem aware when they don't know where to start and they think, well, I've tried a few things and it hasn't worked. Okay, or I don't even know how to start. Okay, so they're starting to become problem aware. And when they start to become solution aware, they're like, okay, well, I'm not getting the results that I want. Just like I was. I went through the exact same thing before I invest on myself. I've tried for 6 months. I'm wasting my time. I just need to make money. I want to make money now. I want to help people now. Okay, and I think it's important to really speak to the people that are ready, because it's very important for you to think about, you know, the person that you want to help. Like I said at the beginning, there is no amount of money in the world that is going to make you feel happier, more fulfilled, and more in line with your purpose in this earth when you actually help somebody to achieve the transformation that you have done. So when people pay you, you think like, this is amazing, you know, I feel so good about making a sale. But when they tell you, Angelica, you've changed my life. Angelica, I think so differently about this. Angelica, you know, I've been carrying this weight on my shoulders my whole life. And you just free me. Angelica, you know, I've met the love of my life. Angelica, you know, I'm sharing my story. And I remember this lady, she had gone through like some really, really insane challenges around, you know, being in a domestic violence relationship, and you know, she had to escape, and it was very, very traumatic. And English wasn't her first language, and she had to, you know, we got to a point that we had worked on the pillars that she was going to write, on the offer, on the client avatar, and refining everything. And she needed to write her first post. And it was really challenging for her, and we did it together. And when she did it, there was literally hundreds of comments of women that were like, oh my God, this is so inspiring. I needed to hear this today. Oh my God, this is incredible. Oh. She said, Angelica, I feel absolutely on top of the world. You know, that just gave me so much joy. You know, to empower her to know that she could help another woman, you know, to change her life. And, you know, when they're product aware and deal aware, they recognize they need help. That's it. I am sold. I'm not going to do this on my own anymore. So, you know, they're ready to find out about your program. All your content should be written with this in mind. You know, don't speak to people that are not ready to change, because it's going to be a waste of your time and they're not going to read it anyway. Okay. These are some examples. You know, this is educational. The biggest lesson I learned was this, the hook, you know, like that's the text. People are like, oh, okay, what is that? You know, like the image is catchy. You know, the first sentence is catchy. If you are a high achiever, this is for you. I don't want to speak to people that are not high achievers. Like I said, I'm interested in helping people that are doers just like me. Okay? So the language that you speak, if you only speak to with people about like struggling and unhappiness and depression and sickness, you know, you attract people that have a lot of victim mentality. You know, and again, I have been that, and it's just not fun, because it doesn't, you could help them 24/7 for free. They're never going to change. Okay. So don't waste your time on that, because that's not for you, you know, to help them. That's just, it's in God's hand, that bit. Okay. So really, I'm just being truly honest here. Okay. And also having a CTA and a call to action doesn't have to be like, buy my product, buy my course, you know, buy this. It could be something like share with somebody that needs to hear this today, you know, or comment, you know, a heart if that resonates, or whatever it is. This is educational but funny. You know, the hook interests a lot of new coaches. The image stops the scroll. It's a live teacher. As soon as they click, I'm showing myself live. and I had lots of replays, which is really cool. And there is a funny aspect of the image, you know, like I teach my clients how to really catch people's attention, because it doesn't matter if you're the most expert, if you have like gold to share with people, unless you know how to catch their attention, you're not selling anything to anyone. Okay. You could also use testimonials. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, if you don't have testimonials yet, like it could be a comment from somebody, you know, that says, wow, you know, like your post really made me happy today, or whatever it is. Okay. You don't have to show people's names, you know, screenshots are powerful, you know, from the comments as well. Share these on your stories. You know, you can talk about the process without giving specific details of your client's stories. You know, in this case here, you know, this person had an ongoing issue for, which was really stopping her from growing her business, you know, and once we worked through that, you know, this person went like, wow, you know, this is just being like life-changing to me. So stories is another way for you to, you know, stories is put in front of people that are not following you. So it's a great way for you to really be in front of people that are not just following you, new people. You know, it's an opportunity for you to, clients get to know you, you know, like ask them questions, also for you to understand that, you know, it's kind of that kind of speed dating type of thing. You know, people are just clicking, they're looking for that dopamine boost, and you were just there, you know, in front of them. Okay. So, stories, you can also sell, you know, things like, you know, I can sell my book, or you can sell like a call with you, or a free webinar like this one. So you keep that going, you know, that will just put in front of other people. So when it comes to content, you know, you're just not like, you know, in this swing of like endless like types of content. So you're thinking like, okay, well, for me, you know, what would I like to write about? And I write about health, because I don't think anybody can build a business without being healthy, you know, and if you think you can do that, you're probably going to burn out. You know, I have seen that happening in many of the masterminds that I've been on, you know, which is really sad to see people even much younger than me. Okay. Mindset, of course, you know, having the right mindset in entrepreneurship is absolutely key. You know, it's how to overcome those limiting beliefs like imposter syndrome, building the true resilience that is required and necessary, elevating mindset to a positive state, and business. Of course, there is this strategy as well, you know, but we all know that just with strategy, and if I didn't speak about mindset or health, people would just be like, well, that's just not enough, because people have tried all these strategies, and some of them are not getting results because they don't have the health to sustain that, because they don't have the energy, and also they haven't got the right mindset. Okay, so for me, it's kind of this is my unique proposition, you know, like for people to really to think about and focus on those pillars. Okay, so and you are the niche. You know, like you don't have to change who you are to be on social media, you know, buy designer clothes or have private jets, and a lot of people do that. You know, you don't have to do that. Your roots are your why and your purpose. Like I said, it's not to make money. It's to change people's lives. It's to transform people's lives. It's to help people see that there is another way of living. It's to help them go from the suffering place, and once you have been there, to this place of like happiness, health, fulfillment that you are on now. Okay, the trunk is your story, your aha moments, your core pillars like mind or mindset, health, and business, your key messages. And the leaves are expanding your reach, your visibility. You know, I have a live show where I interview people, you know, about mindset, about business, about health, about all sorts of different things. I love doing that. You know, I absolutely love doing that. You know, and I know that my audience benefits from that too. Now let's talk about lead generation. You know, how do you take them from watching your content, you know, like the funny educational sales, to actually, you know, buying from you? Okay, so your story is an opportunity for you to sell your services and yourself every single day. You know, you could be, you know, selling a free webinar. It could be like I said, you know, selling my book, or selling people to read a blog post that you have on your website, so they are already on their website. You know, but just think, it takes up to 27 times for people to see your offer before they buy. So stories is just like, you know, that little taster of who you are. You know, there is collaborations, you know, like I go on podcasts as well, and I do my live you know, events where I connect with people that I think it's going to be of value for my audience, and that's great, because it gives you exposure to their audience, you know, and they get exposed to your audience. It's kind of a collaboration thing there. Okay. posting valuable content, like we talked about the type of content. You can have a look at 3 industry leaders that are kind of have similar stories than you, and then you think like, okay, you can take that as an inspiration, but you are not going to copy them because your story is unique. You don't have to worry about that because you are talking about what you lived through, and the CTAs, in posts, stories, emails, like everything, there is a CTA, a call to action. You are getting people to engage with you. And then what happens when people start engaging with you, you can sell them to a funnel. And I'm going to quickly talk about that. I never had a funnel from the beginning, and I wouldn't advise people to start getting busy with building funnels. What I work with my clients is to build an online presence by sharing their story so they can get a one-to-one high ticket client. That is what we focus on, okay? It's what I did organically, okay? So this is, if people go onto my website, they can see that there is a free training around health training and around business. This one is the health, ready to create the healthiest, strongest, and fittest version of yourself. They have a little bit of reading there, and then they can watch the 30 minutes free training where I sell straight away a course that is $997 US. And I would say if you're selling something that is less than $1,000, you can do that. But if you're selling something that is higher than that, you want to book a call with people. And the reason being is not only because it's a higher value ticket, but you also want to know who you're going to be working with. I made a mistake to working with somebody who I said no to because I realized that person was going to be very challenging and difficult. That person wasn't ready to change. And this person begged me to help her. And I unfortunately said yes to, and it was the worst mistake that I've made because I had to drag this person through the change. And you can't change people that don't want to change. As a coach, you come halfway and the other person needs to come halfway, and you have this beautiful chemistry together that you can produce something that is much greater than both of you could ever done it on your own. But it's important to know that it's not only about a quick buck. It's about really working with people that are in alignment with your mission and your vision. And that's what I teach my clients. And I'm deeply passionate about that, okay? Because I have made the mistake to go down a road that I wouldn't advise anybody to go to, okay, down to. This one is the other value funnel that I have. This is about business. And again, this is, if you have a story to share, I build my business from the ground up. There is a 30 minutes training that they can watch, but this one you have to book a call because I want to know who you are. Okay, so, and there is some testimonies as well. So, you can build that, but I wouldn't advise people to start there. Especially if you haven't got any testimonies yet, it's going to add complication and you don't need that. So how to sell on the direct message. So as you start posting, creating content, people are going to start resonating with your story because it's unique. It's you. Nobody can steal that from you. Nobody can come up with the same things, right? So you send a message to people and you ask them, like, hey, what resonates with you, this post. You want to know, like, and people come up with things that you never thought that they would. You're going to be writing about something and they're going to tell you like, oh, it resonates with me because you're always in nature. It resonates with me because you don't wear makeup, because you show up as an authentic version of yourself. It resonates with me what you said about saying no to a client. I got a client because I posted about saying no to a client. People, they are living their own world, their own perspective. Once you start talking to them and asking curious questions, you will start understanding who are coming into your orbit and who are resonating with your message and how you can help them, and you can book a call. Now it's a guest appointed. They say like, I've tried this, I've tried that, it hasn't worked, and you say, okay, well, would you be open to jump on a call with me? Okay. And you book a call and then you get on a call with them. Okay. And in the call, it's an opportunity for you to get to know them. They get to know you. And, it's not an opportunity for you to make a friend. This is a business call. So, spend a couple of minutes building rapport, not too long, because you just want to know, like, oh yeah, cool. That this person is, it is a genuine person that wants to know me, get to know me, and I want to get to know them. You have a look at their profile, review it. If you've already interacted with them on direct message, what they told you about themselves and their situation, and you focus on listening and not talking. And a lot of people are doing life on their own, even when they have partners and relationships. They want to be heard. They want somebody to listen to them. Okay, and if there is an opportunity, if you feel like this person is in alignment with your vision, then you can talk about your program. Like I said, I wouldn't advise you to offer your program to everybody, because there will be people out there that will be on a call with you, but they will not be worth you working with them, because of what I explained before. And that is, I am super passionate about that. You want to help people that want to be helped, people that are open to change, people that are wanting to do the work. Now, guys, you've been listening to me nonstop for 45 minutes, and I want to ask you a question. What's your plan from here? And this is a question that I had to ask myself after, running around in circles for six months and not making any sales. The choice is yours. 90 days from now, you could still be wishing you have taken action towards your dreams. Like I had many clients telling to me, now I wish I had signed up to this now much earlier. Or you could be actually living your dream. Isn't time to break that pattern. No, this is a pattern. To tell yourself that you're going to figure out on your own, it's a pattern that I also have been on. And I'll tell you why it's a pattern. First of all, is because there is an issue that you think that you need to do life on your own. There is nobody that you see, that you follow, that are doing some great work in the world, that have built a business on their own. Because we are not meant to do life on our own. And I kept thinking that, because I also felt that I was a failure by not figuring out by myself. And I have many clients that tell me that, they did that when I was helping people with health, and they do that now with business. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Why do you think 70% of the world is sick? Because in actual fact, being healthy is not a simple matter. Why do you think 80 to 90% of business fail in the first year? Because in actual fact, creating a business is not a simple matter. There are things in my journey that I did on my own, but there are things that I needed help, and you do too. Okay, so the choice is yours. Okay, the choice is yours. What do you want to do from here? Like for me, it was very important to put things into perspective. Do I want to get to the end of my life? Which, after cancer, you realize you don't know when that will be. And think to myself, what? I just kept going and think that I could figure it out on my own, and I didn't help one single person. I didn't do what I wanted to do. Or, I just gave up. I went back to corporate. I did not want to be that person. And I hope that you don't want to be that person too. Because, there is so much power in when you make that decision. That's it. I have had my I had enough moment, and I know I can do this. Most of my clients have done things that were much harder than I have ever done in my life. And they are absolutely stars. When they tell them, oh my God, I cannot believe you've gone through this, and you are an overcomer. I am in awe by what my clients have accomplished in their lives, and I'm sure you have too. So look, the angel method is, angel, it's all about aspire, positive and growth orientated mindset. We work through all the mindset blocks and things that are stopping you from growing and becoming the person that you need to be to help other people in the world. Nurtured, like helping you to build that know, like, and trust factor with potential clients, building their online presence organically, generating content that sells, generating leads, creating an irresistible offer that people are going to buy, engaging and building this online presence by being your authentic self and engaging with people in an authentic way, leverage organic sales and marketing strategies to sell a high ticket offer. Like I said, my objective is that I'll help you to grow an online presence in an authentic way by showing up, by being who you are, so you can help people for real, people that are going to pay you, to get coached by you with this gift that you have inside you. It's a proven method, accountability, from somebody who has done it and understands how to build a business from scratch by sharing a story. And it's tailored to you from where you're at. I've had clients, like I said, that hadn't made one post. I've had clients that have made several posts, but they still hadn't made a sale. It depends where you are at. And you get the best of the both worlds, because, you get 6 months of exclusive access to mentorship and support directly from me. You get 1 monthly one-to-one coaching call with me that creates a customized plan from where you are at. Focus on what you need to be focusing on every single day of the time that you have. And you also get 2 weekly group calls with me for 6 months. And the group calls is really helpful because, as I said, you get the best of the both worlds. We learn so much from other people's questions. And I have been in one-to-one coaching and group coaching, and I've benefit from both. And here's some and you also get some custom feedback on your homework review. You get homework and you send that to me, and I'll give you feedback straight away, which is very, very, very beneficial as well when you're learning the ropes of so many different things. Some of my clients testimonies here. I'm off to a flying start this morning. I couldn't sleep last night. I think I was too excited about, all her ideas. I went and wrote down a heap of ideas and things to do. I found myself being more confident automatically. I put it on paper now. I have a clear vision. I was listening to that weird noise in my head. I think that I've never had such a radical mindset shift. I love your comment about manifestation. There's so many different beautiful things here. And the angel method is unique because you get the best of both worlds, one-to-one coaching and group support. You get a customized action plan to where you are at to achieve your goals, and you get that customized support on what you do, or what you need to do really through a chat support, DM from Monday to Friday, which again is so important, especially when you are learning so many different things. And you get coached by somebody who has done the work. I think that, one of the mistakes that I've made was just to paying for this massive group coaching with people that were so much further ahead than me, and they had forgotten what it was like to start a business. And this is not the case. Like if you are working with me, I haven't forgotten where you are, because not a long time ago I was where you are. So I think it's so important to work with people that are just a little bit ahead of you. You learn from other coaches as well, questions, which is so important. This is not for everybody, guys. If you're not ready to say goodbye to all the shiny objects, if you're not going to focus your time in applying what you learn with me, this is not for you. Not for people who are not committed to put in the work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to require some work from you. And not for people who don't value investing themselves in their business. I want you to go all in this, because I go all in with my clients. I believe truly in their mission, their vision. And I know that when they do that, the results are guaranteed. A lot of people are hoping that life is going to give them guarantees. There is no guarantees in life. You have to become your guarantee. When I started changing my life at the beginning of cancer treatment, there was no guarantees that I was going to finish 12 sessions of chemotherapy feeling stronger than I started. In actual fact, I used to tell the doctors, I'm changing my diet. They used to say to me, like, nothing that you're going to do is going to change that. Your cancer was just bad luck. And guess what? I became my own guarantee. And in the business was the same. As soon as I started investing on myself, I didn't ask for guarantees. I became my guarantee. I knew that if I invested myself, I was going to get paying clients, and I did. Okay. And this is not for people who are not open to being coachable. You need to be open to be coachable. This is, a container where I am going to be coaching you. We're going to have some conversations. We're going to be, taking you to places that you haven't been taken before, and I think that it's a, you can see this is a beautiful journey, because it is. And here's the thing, guys, the angel method isn't free because it doesn't benefit you. How can you tell others to invest on themselves if you're hesitant to invest in yourself? I see so many coaches doing that, and they haven't made a dime. In actual fact, the stats on the coaching industry, it's alarming. Only 1% of coaches have ever made 6 figures, so that is insane, and I'm in that 1%. I'm so proud of that. Like most people are not making money. And the truth is, like, if you believe in coaching, if you believe in working with people, you need to start asking yourself some honest questions. And the truth is, people who pay attention. I don't know about you, but you probably have bought like $100 courses. Have you even opened those courses? Probably not. So the reality is, when you commit, financially, you show up differently, you do the work, you are ready to do whatever it takes. Okay. So this is for you if you're an aspiring coach wanting time, location, financial freedom by building a business on social media. You're looking for more hands-on support, instead of a self-paced course, like I said, those like $100 course that, promise you the world and you haven't even opened, or those massive group coaching programs where you feel lost, and you're not taking action because you are lost. Okay. The person doesn't understand where you're at. You are looking for easier and faster ways to doing things. Guys, you pay for coaching not to know the what. You can find the what everywhere in the internet. What do I do to be healthy? What do I do to start a business? But what you pay a coach for is the how. How do I do that? Okay, is the how what people struggle with? Is the how what people have limiting beliefs around? Is the how that people need help with? Okay, like I said, I haven't figured out everything on my own. I had plenty of help to get where I am, and I'm so proud that I was, bigger, than that person that felt that I never needed any help. Because of that, I am what I am today. And you're looking for personalized support as well as to be part of a community of like-minded people. We are the average of the 5 people that we spend time with. Most likely the people that you're surrounding yourself with, they don't believe in entrepreneurship. They're going to a job, they're unhappy, they're exhausted, they're accepting their status quo, the mediocre life, the good life, right? And being surrounded by people that believe in something much bigger than that, it really changes your life. It changes, it keeps like creating different neural pathways in your mind, because, you start creating a new normal in your nervous system, okay, which is massive when it comes to change. And the reality is, like, guys, I can't help everyone. This is a very hands-on program. I am very committed to my clients' results, and I'm only looking for 10 students who are highly motivated, coachable, and ready to take action to make their story a success. If you're eager to monetize your personal story and create impact in the world they've always wanted, click below and book a call, and let's have a chat to see if this program is suitable for you. And the only risk is to miss out on this opportunity by not taking action. As you know, this is it's a life-changing opportunity. I wish that somebody had taken me by the hand from day one, so I didn't have to waste time, that I didn't have to make the mistakes that I made to be what I am today, so I could get there faster, and in a much, much easier way. Okay. And this is what I want for you too. What I want for you is that you will, be sharing your story confidently, that you believe in yourself, that you'll be helping people to transform their lives, to go from A to B, so we can start healing the world as a collective. That's what I hope for you. So guys, if you take action in the next 24 hours and you book a call, you get access to the A-Game program, which is the program that I talked about earlier, which is my health training and mindset, that it's all about habits and, guarantee, if you do what it is in that program, it 10x your energy levels, 10x your focus, your mindset, habits, are gonna go to a completely different level. We'll also be breaking patterns that are stopping you for good. I'm all about creating new habits for good, and that's what you get when you get access to that A-Game program. Guys, don't wait. Calls are first in, first served. Limited spots are available, and if you have any questions, just DM me. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I'll see you very soon.